Singapore's free trade agreements are building blocks towards more liberal trade, says Minister in charge of Trade Relations S. Iswaran. Speaking at a symposium to commemorate 20 years of Singapore's FTA strategy, Mr. Iswaran said the pacts complement multilateralism, citing the 11-party Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for a Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP, as an example. And Melissa Goh tells us more.
Trade continues to be Singapore's lifeblood, said Minister S. Iswaran. Singapore's first FTA was with New Zealand in 2001, and it now has a network of over 24 FTAs with 36 trading partners. He said critics argued that such agreements could damage free trade by discriminating against non-member economies. But Singapore was and still is clear that FTAs should complement and not supplant multilateralism.
Multilateral negotiations will always remain the principal modality to promote global free trade. But it is constrained by the sheer number of members and their diversity of interests, thereby often having to converge on the lowest common denominator. On the other hand, an FTA between two or more partners allows us to seek out new areas and aspire towards higher standards.
A study by Singapore's Trade and Industry Ministry estimates that 2 years after an FTA comes into force, domestic exports of goods to an FTA partner goes up by an average of 18% for businesses and another 16% in the third year. In 2016, FTA saved Singapore businesses about 720 million Sing dollars in tariffs, a leap from 450 million a decade before. But engaging businesses is key to ensuring they benefit from such agreements.
I hope that in the future, 20 years' time, more and more SMEs will be able to use this FTA. You first have to make the FTA relevant to SMEs. You have to also educate and bring the SMEs into this sphere of FTAs and the benefit. So a lot of outreach and education is needed.
FTAs are also evolving with today's digital economy. And Mr. Iswaran said Singapore has to stay nimble to link up with like-minded countries and organizations to shape a new digital trade architecture.